So last year, the six turnovers really made it challenging for you to try to beat this team. Can you talk about the importance? I guess one of your talking points is don't commit six turnovers, right?
Sure. Yeah, don't commit three turnovers. Don't commit one. Cost us last week, yeah, you can't we're going to have to go take care of the ball and possess the ball to give ourselves a chance. But that's always been I think I've been here whatever it is now, what 21 games since I've been here, and every loss we've had two or more turnovers. Okay, and pretty much with one, if it's one or less turnovers, we've won every game. I mean, it's the most important statistic in football. Is can you win the turnover battle? So obviously this game is absolutely critical. The only time we've ever, we played Tulsa this year and had the three turnovers to start off with, and then overcame that. But it sure does make it tough.
Another thing you can't have in a game against Notre Dame is self-inflicted wounds, and again against North Texas, the penalties, especially the pre-snap ones, you hate. Are you surprised this deep into the season, 8 games, are still having some issues? And Navy's always been such a disciplined team and ranked
Yeah,
high in the nation in terms of fewest penalties and fewest penalty yardage, but it's not the case this year.
yeah, it's something we got to get fixed. We're working hard on it. But it's a little disappointing when it occurs for sure, and it's not something that over the years it's been an issue for us. So that has been we've worked on it this week. So we can't do that. I mean, we cannot. It absolutely kills you. So if we can just everybody start to play at the same time and uh, end up with the ball in hand to the official at the end of the play. Those are if you can do those two things, you got a chance.
And lastly, for me, for you as a coordinator, I mean, like you got your first taste of this rivalry last year, and just kind of talk about what you learned and how much are you looking forward to now taking it to Notre Dame Stadium.
Well, I've never been to South Bend, so I'm excited. I mean, those are the things you grow up, you think, man, that'd be pretty cool. But it's this game is a football game. Okay, now we're playing a really good team, but you can't make it bigger than it is. You just can control you and go play. So as far as what I've learned by playing coaching in last year's game or whatever, nothing really. I don't know. Every game I guess you learn something about that particular game, but obviously we've got to be prepared for it to be loud, and there be some chaos and all those things. Anytime you're playing in a stadium where there's going to be a lot of people and all that, but while it's cool to play against Notre Dame, the history and the tradition, all those things, if you look at it bigger than that, then that I think that just causes you not to go play well. So we're going to go play a game. It's going to be awesome. It's an awesome opportunity. It's an honor to go play against some of the best people in the country. This team played for a national championship last year, and we need to go execute well and give ourselves the best opportunity to be successful.
Scott Wyckoff.
Yeah, coach, you're playing against a team, the head coach, defensive guy. What is the kind of the image of a Marcus Freeman defense that you've seen?
Um, they obviously they play really hard. They play really disciplined. They have really talented players. Um, they're good. I mean, they do a great job. I'm sure that he is certainly very influential in what they're doing defensively. They have a new coordinator this year. But I would imagine it's a situation where they're still going to do things that he's comfortable with. Uh, you generally want to ride the horse that got you there, right? So, I'm sure that's how he is as well. But once again, they're human beings over there, okay, and they're not, it's not like we're going to play the people who invented football. Let's just go play. But yeah, outstanding. They do a great job coaching, um, and they play really hard. So we just gotta, we got to go match that. Obviously, when you play talented teams like this that are disciplined and that play really hard and do a great job, any mistake you have is magnified. Um, so we have got to play. We can't beat ourselves. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot. We're not going to play perfect. But at the same time, uh, it's hard enough to win games when you don't beat yourself, right? So we've got to go play a clean game.
Does it help you guys that you've got a number of players coming back in the offense that played a blue blood last year, much like a Notre Dame in Oklahoma, where they saw if they just approach it as a game, they can be successful?
Sure, I think that's what you always want to do. Listen, it's just go be you, be the best version of you that you can be. Um, play our style of football. All the cliches, but it really is that, and go have the bottom line is play hard, play smart. All right, have fun. I think that's what Coach Gino said the other day when he came and talked to our team. All right, play hard, play smart, have fun, and keep it simple and turn it loose. So yeah, that's kind of what we hope we can do.
How do you prepare your team for the noise and the proximity of that noise? I know at Notre Dame Stadium, they're right on top of you.
Yeah, so I don't know if y'all were out of practice yesterday, but we had a speaker right behind the offense as loud as it could go, and nobody could hear anything. All right, so you have to communicate, get the signal. It's that's all you can do. Go out there and just try to simulate it as best you can, and so that's what we've been doing this week.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Yep, thank you.
Tim Nolan.
Coach, another thing I noticed in practice yesterday is afterwards you were banging out a bunch of push-ups there on the field. Is that something that you typically do, or is that a
I
practice
try.
that? Where's
I
that come
try
from?
to every other day at practice. I try to get 100 push-ups. It's just kind of I don't have time during the day to. I'd love to sneak out during lunch and get a quick something, but my wife's on me to try to be active, and I've actually lost about 20 pounds since the beginning of August. I was getting out of hand. But I've tried to lose a little weight and try to go out there. And they say Herschel Walker used to do 1,000 push-ups a day, and that's the weight training he did. So I figure I can do 100, and maybe I can you know at least have some semblance of a chest somewhere. And maybe my arms won't just totally shrink up.
Drew, how does maybe a place like this, like the Naval Academy, push you to be at your best, not just as a coach, but as you just mentioned, make sure you're taking care of in other aspects?
I mean, you want to be the best you can be, and I was actually having I'd seen I was having some it was some of my health was headed a little bit in the wrong direction. Uh, so I kind of I said, you know what, enough of that. Let's kind of eat right, get a few runs in here and there, and burn some calories and drop some weight. But it's good because you feel better. You feel like when you get home, you still got energy to spend, with your family. I think that's really important that you take care of yourself and you got, positive frame of mind as well. Because we grind. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of hours. Um, and you want to stay fresh, especially for a season. What do we got? 12 games and about four open weeks during that. I mean, last season was like the longest season I've ever. I'd say. 12 games plus a bowl game end up being four open weeks plus the open week before the bowl game. You look up and that's so you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep your energy level up but I love what I do. It's not like a job. You get to come in here and draw up football plays and teach people stuff and develop and build relationships um so uh but I think it's important to to take care of yourself and so try to do a better job of that this fall.
You mentioned earlier this is another football team at the end of the day. I mean, you yourself playing at Georgia, Jay at Clemson, Coach Brian at Baylor. You guys were used to playing at this level when you played yourself collegiately. How do you get your players to understand that even though they do have a ranking, this is just another football team?
Well, it's a happy thing because it is Notre Dame, okay, and they're one of the top. You could argue they're a top five team in the country. They played for a national championship last year, so you're playing a really really good football team. Um, but at the same time, you all you can control is you and what you're doing, how you execute, and you can't control what you're going against at all. Okay, so let's don't get caught up in a lot of stuff that doesn't matter, that has no bearing on the way you perform. And but it's awesome to go play at South Bend and Touchdown Jesus and all the things. That is a great opportunity. It's a great experience. But at the same time, go attack it and have fun doing it. And that's all you can do. And you should have something to prove. You should have, I belong out here. I belong on this field. But at the same time, you can't be afraid of failure. You can't be afraid of making mistakes, and you got to prepare the right way and then go play. And really, that's what every game should be, right? That's what every game should be. So that's control what we can control, go be the best version of ourselves, and let's see what happens.
Thank you.
Wags.
So in recent history, when Navy beat Notre Dame, the quarterback played well. I think Ricky Dobbs had played big games when he beat Notre Dame twice in back-to-back years. Will Worth rushed for 182 yards and multiple touchdowns when Navy beat Notre Dame in Jacksonville. How important is it for Blake Horvath to play well for Navy to win this game?
Yeah, I mean, your quarterback is the most important position in all of sport. It really doesn't matter that we're playing Notre Dame when it comes to that. If your quarterback doesn't play well, you don't win. Okay, and that's just football these days. I mean, I don't know if you can go to a game, and maybe since Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, when he didn't have to do a ton because they had a great defense and all that other stuff. But um I, yeah, that position has got to play well every week, and fortunately for us, we've done that. We've done that here over time. I hadn't played perfect, but we've done that. But yeah, it's the most important position in all of sport, and that's just what it comes with, So that is a big deal, obviously, to play well Saturday.
So obviously, Coach Newberry said last year that was disappointed that Navy wasn't, as he said, ready for the moment when it played Notre Dame, and that included Blake. He dropped the ball. I think it was a bad center exchange, and then he had a interception he threw in the end zone, and 6 turnovers overall is not going to get it done. And when I was talking to him, he said, forget making up for Notre Dame last year. How about making up for last week? Because I know he would have those 2 passes, the pass decisions back, but. Do you feel like Blake is ready for the moment?
Yeah, Blake's a dude. Okay. Blake's a really good player. Um, I think Blake's one of the best players in the country. So yeah, I don't worry about Blake being ready for the moment. Blake's got to execute. And last year, like I said, I think we'd had 5 straight games before we played Notre Dame where we didn't have a single turnover, and then had 6 in one game. And that's ball security is everybody's job. Okay, it's the quarterback's job. It's the receiver's job. Okay, you got to make catches. You got to catch a pitch, watch it in, and put it away, and take care of the ball. And you got to have a great snap. And you can't turn people loose, because then if you get to people turn loose, you got more folks to try to knock the ball loose. So ball security is everybody's job, and that's got to be that's got to take care of the ball for sure.
And lastly, obviously, Navy had been very good in the red zone up until this last game at North Texas. How critical will it be to finish when you get there against Notre Dame?
Critical, just like it is in every game. That was probably when you look at last week, I think we had the ball 8 times. We had 3 scoring possessions. We had 3 turnovers. We had 1 turnover on downs and 1 punt after we had a holding call. So we had opportunities to finish drives, and we probably, you can argue you left, 17 points out there. And we can't do that to have a chance to win against Notre Dame, or anybody for that matter, but especially this week when you're playing a team that's this good.
Wyckoff.
Coach, what does it mean for your dad when you coach in a game like this against a Notre Dame?
Well, he'll be there. He's coming up to South Bend. Uh, so I'm sure he'll have after the game he'll tell me a few things I should have done. But it means a lot to my dad that I'm coaching at the Naval Academy. Okay. Now, is it cool to get to go to these different places and have these experiences? Absolutely, and he's enjoying that his son gets to be a part of that. But he is extremely proud that we're here and we're doing things that he loves, and that we're getting to coach young men that he would love to coach. He enjoys our team. He talks about our players. Okay, when we get on the phone, which how you getting 22 the ball? How you getting 46 the ball? What do you know? What it's 24. Man, that guy competes. How do we get him? You know, he loves Cody Howard. Like, he loves the toughness. Okay, so he just enjoys this and our kids and what we're getting to do and how we get to do it. It means a lot to him. He's a very proud. And his dad, my grandfather, would be unbelievably proud to that his grandson was coaching. He had a grandson graduate from here in 2012. My first cousin, Caleb Cronic, is a graduate. So those are things that the family is proud of, and it means a lot to him. So yeah, he's into it. He is definitely into it.
That said, your route to being an offensive coordinator at the Naval Academy wasn't very typical, coming from a background of building programs as a head coach at a couple different successful stops. How much did your dad give you advice when you had to make kind of that different move that maybe some people in the industry might not understand?
Well, that's a long story right there, but yeah, I mean, I lean on my dad when major decisions come along. And truth be known, I turned down Coach Newberry initially. I just didn't. I was worried about moving my family away from their family, right? All my people were in Georgia, and I was worried about my staff at Mercer. You worry about, because now I'm not able to take care of them people, and they got to find a job now. So you feel responsible, and but my dad wanted me to do it. He just felt like it was the right thing, and I went back and forth, and I had a wrestling match with, honestly, the Holy Spirit. We're very prayerful about where we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to be doing, and I was trying to make the decision I felt like the Lord wanted me to make. And I finally came back to Coach Newberry and I asked, tell me you hadn't given that job to somebody else. Uh, but yeah, he was influential, and I knew that he thought this was the right thing to do, and and believe it or not, my mom thought the same thing. So it worked out, and um, it was an opportunity to grow, to learn some new things, um, to be at a special place and be around special people. It's been. I'm so glad. I'm literally, it makes me sick to my stomach to think that I almost didn't do it. So I'm really really happy that this is what we chose to do.
And how important has been the acceptance of your faith community in Annapolis that's been a part of this?
Well, we go to Mariners Church, okay, and that's Pastor Bill McKinney, and he's a old Navy football player, and loves Navy football, and so it's just like I said, I believe things happen for a reason, and it really worked out well for my family. My kids love church there, and my son Eli, who's now a plebe, he was playing guitar at the praise and worship and different things. So that's really important to our family. And so that's been a blessing to have that here, to have that support group here, to have a place to be able to go to worship and fellowship, and that's we're very blessed with that. That's been a good deal.
Well, good luck at a big place where they do a worshiping a lot in South Bend this weekend.
Yep, get to see Touchdown Jesus this weekend, so I'm fired up.
One other thing your dad loves, he loves these Zooms because he's told me. Tim Nolan.
Oh, really? Yeah, he gets to hear what the heck's going on.
Yep.
Does he love how Coach Cronic doesn't answer my questions?
He told me, he said, "Don't tell Wags anything. So keep him out of the loop."
Yeah, Nolan.
Coach, got a chance to ask Blake this a couple of minutes ago, and you might add a really good perspective because you played in the SEC, but now you coach at Navy. Growing sentiment about keeping Group of Five teams out of the college football playoff. How do you feel about that and about your team's place to belong in that conversation?
Well, I think now that you have as many teams, as many playoff teams as there are, back when it was just 4 teams, I get it. But this to me, it makes me think a little bit more March Madness, honestly. And so if a team, I think our conference is outstanding. I think the American Conference is outstanding. Um, when you look up and you've had we beat Oklahoma last year. You had, I think Memphis beat Arkansas. You had South Florida beat Florida. Seemed like there was one more. North Texas beat Washington State, right?
Tough.
So
Yeah.
and South Florida beat Boise. So that's pretty good stuff. I mean, those are teams that, Boise was a playoff team last year. Florida's been a national championship program. I mean, Oklahoma, I mean, it's so I think our conference is really good. I think if you win our conference, I think you deserve to be there. I really do. Of course I'm biased, but I think if you're going to have what is it now, 12-team field, right? Isn't that where we're at?
Yes, sir.
I
Yep, 12.
think I think that one of those teams needs to be the American Conference champion. I don't think there's any question about that. And but I think you got to do that. I think you probably got to win this league. You got to be 10-2, 11-1 at least. Because you do want to get the 12 best teams. But I do think the American Conference has one of those teams. I do.
Knowing that after Notre Dame, you have two more of those outstanding American teams, and then Army after that. What do you want to see this Saturday to know your team is ready for a very important Final Four games this regular season?
Well, you're always looking for small victories, okay? You're looking for a way to go, man, we improved today. You want to give yourself a chance to win. We're not going over there, for any moral. We're going to win the game, okay? And it's going to take a great effort to do that. And it's probably going to take us having our A game and them having not quite their A game, okay? There's some factors that go with that because they control it too. They got a really good football team. But you want to go try to give yourself a chance to win the game. And then you want to go look at the film and go, we got better in these areas. This week of practice was productive and we made strides in some areas maybe we weren't as good as we need to be in the previous week. So I think that's the case. You want to improve. I think when you know you're improving, you want to go back to work and to get better. So I think playing great teams makes you better. And obviously we have a tough stretch, but that's part of this deal. If you want to be a championship team, then you got to beat other good teams. And so this is a great opportunity for us to go up against that this weekend and give ourselves the best chance possible to win. And it's not going to take a miracle to win the game, but you got to go play really well, and you probably need them to be a little off. And those things happen all the time, right? So let's go give ourselves the best chance by bringing our A game and executing at a high level.
So, Drew, what would it mean for you, just, with how entrenched football has been in your life, you touching your dad a couple of times, to win a game like this and to do it on the road with a
It'd be
top 10 team?
fun. It'd be awesome. It'd be incredible. But we got to make sure we keep our eye on the ball. It's in the processes, right? That's where we got to make sure we're doing the right things, being the best we can be. But certainly, if you could give yourself a chance to win and pull it off, a few more people out there may recognize your name a little bit. Who knows? You all of a sudden, you see that. But people pull for Navy, right? I think Navy is a national brand, and I think especially in today's world, people appreciate the Naval Academy players and what they're doing and how they do it and who they are. And I think people pull for the academies. I really do. So we'll see what we can do. I'm excited about the opportunity. If you can't be excited about this, there's something wrong with you. So I'm excited about the opportunity.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Coach Cronic? Wags, I'm sure you got one more.
I saw that Cody Howard started the game against North Texas, but did not see him in.
That was an error by North Texas. He did not play.
No, he didn't go. He didn't play that
Right.
game.
It was wrong in the book. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't see him in the game at all. I saw a lot of
That, yeah, we got that corrected. Stacy got that.
Cody. Will you think he'll be back?
I don't know. We hope so, and I think there's a good chance he'll be back eventually. But that's we'd love him to have him. He is such a fine football player. He is a really good football player, and he loves to play. So we got to keeping our fingers crossed that he can come back and play some this year because he loves to play so much and he's so good at it and he's such a good leader. So we're keeping our fingers crossed there.
What about Luke Hutchison?
Luke Hutchison has made this has been much faster than we anticipated earlier. I think you'll at least see Luke by next week. You may see him this weekend.
Thank you.
I don't know what I'm allowed to say, Scott. I never know what I'm allowed to say. I want to give Wags something. I want to throw him a bone somewhere. I don't want him to just think I don't like him or something.
You nailed it. Oh, perfect.
All
Anyone have anything else? All right. Thanks a lot, Coach. Thanks, everybody.
God bless y'all. See you later.